Model is based on what you need to do daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually for each department of your business. So let's talk about sales for a second. Here's just some examples. All right. This is not the exhaustive list, but just some samples of what do you need to do daily as a solopreneur or small business owner with your sales. So, first things first is respond quickly to inbound leads. Now, are you going to have those every day? No. But when you do, it needs to happen that day, not even the 24-hour rule. I'll get back to them in the morning. Any leads that come in wanting to work with you, we need to get back to them as soon as possible. So every day, get back to any of those inbound incoming leads. Second thing we need to do daily is if you have any important calls or emails or meetings that you need to take those notes that day and set the follow-up task of what do I do next? Okay. So whatever that is, particularly in your CRM, your sales software, that you need to set that up. So every single day, whenever you have meetings, again, you won't have those sales meetings every day, but when you do it that day. Also, every day you need to update your scorecard. So that's a different video, but you want to make sure that you don't get behind. Every Friday, I have an update my scorecard reminder on my calendar to make sure that I covered everything. But it's actually a lot harder on Friday to go back and think about what were all the leads that came in? What were all the sales meetings I had? What proposals did I send out? And instead, as inbound leads come in, as sales quotes go out the door, as you have sales meetings, just put them on that day into the scorecard. I keep mine as handy as my inbox, right? It's right next to my inbox in my browser. So updating that scorecard needs to be done daily as well. Now we go to weekly. So what do we do weekly? Well, weekly we need to check and complete our CRM tasks. So any sales tasks that we previously set that are due, I'm going to do that 2 or 3 times a week. I've got time blocked on my calendar to do that outreach, to follow up on that proposal I sent out, whatever those next steps were that we put into the CRM. Okay. So then also weekly, I have a special reminder on a certain day of the week. Now, you don't want to do all of these on Monday or all of these on a certain day, but I have them spread out. So on a certain day of the week, I check my LinkedIn views because I want to see who was looking at my LinkedIn profile. And then I have a set message that I send that says, "Hey, John, I saw you visited my profile this week. Is there anything I can do to support you or your leaders?" And sometimes they will say, "Just looking around." Sometimes they don't respond. Sometimes they will say, "Yeah, actually, I was looking for a speaker for my next event and I'd like to learn more about your programs." But they, for some reason, didn't reach out. Maybe they're still doing homework or looking at other people or didn't have time in the moment. My reaching out to them absolutely helped start that conversation and get a sales call scheduled on the calendar. Yeah. Okay. So that's another thing that I do weekly. Then monthly, we want to review and clean our pipeline. So we actually go into our pipeline and make sure that everything is clean and the deals that have gone dark, we're going to decide whether or not how long we're going to chase those. We don't let them go too quickly. You got to be persistent, but we do at some point start to clean those out of the pipeline so that our pipeline isn't inflated with a bunch of folks that went dark that aren't really deals anymore. Okay. So those are just the very tactical daily, weekly, monthly tasks that we need to do for sales. When we get to quarterly and annually, that's more strategic. That's a different conversation. So good luck. And what are your daily, weekly, and monthly tactics and daily things, weekly things, monthly things that you are doing, that you're putting into your well-oiled machine for sales? Drop in some other ideas here in the comments.